Hi everybody. So Raz Plus is a great resource that we use to support students with their reading. It's got English and Spanish level books, it's got activities. But actually what I wanted to start with is how do you actually set these kids up in Raz Plus? So you can see I've logged in with my account. If you need to get your account information, go ahead and email either your lead teacher for instructional technology or the instructional coach at your building. Once you log in, here's how you get your roster into the system. So about a third of the way down, there's a purple bar, and there's a Manage Students tab. So I'm going to go ahead and hover over that, and then I'm going to click on Roster. The first screen you'll see is actually a list of your existing roster. So if you wanted to edit students, and I'll actually talk about that in a second, but let me show you how to add a student. So right here, again, about a third of the way down is the Add Students button. All you have to do is enter a username. You don't have to do first name, last name, or an ID. You can if you want, but all you have to do is enter a username and then select the Raz Plus level. Now, Raz Plus has been around, RazKids have been around forever. So if you notice, when I kind of hovered over a reading level, it gave me an idea of the age, the grade, the Fontes and Pinnell level. So if you have that information, you can use that and kind of correlate it with the RazKids to make sure your students are at the right level. What's nice is that when they log in, that's the level that they'll see at the reading room. So you won't ever have to worry, if you're using this at a center, you won't ever have to really worry about them going up or down, being in the wrong spot. This is going to give them books at their reading level, which is super nice. So we've entered a username, we've entered the Raz Plus level, and then last but not least, you got to enter a password for each student. For the younger kids, or actually for any kids, you can use an image, or if you want to use text, both will work. I always like to use the classic D33. That's just kind of a generic one that we've always used. It makes it a lot easier when kids are logging in. You know all the passwords, they can get in real fast. So that's how you add new students. Let me show you something though for existing students that you've already got on your roster. Here's their information, which you can edit from here if you hover over the student and click on that little pencil. What's nice though is, again, let's say you're using this as a center, and you've got specific students, you know, this 5, these 5, these 5. You can go ahead and actually group students. So let's say I wanted these 3 students in a group. I go ahead and select them. I hit this little pencil, and then I have the ability to add them to groups. And you can see even these students, they're in multiple groups. So if you've got students in multiple groups, the whole idea though is that when we go into assigning things in RazKids, which you can do, it's nice to be able to assign them to a group as opposed to just one student. The next column is incentives. RazKids issues points based on how students are doing. So they can then use those points to buy avatars and backgrounds and all that stuff. That's just fun for the kids. So the last thing is actually new this summer is the student portal look. So when you click on it, you get a primary and intermediate option. The primary option looks like the traditional option that kids are used to with the spaceships and the planets and stuff. The intermediate, though, has a much less childish look than the primary. So this might be for those 3rd, 4th, 5th graders, maybe 4th, 5th graders, whatever. So it doesn't look so childish anymore. You'll see here, though, there's another tab. That's the Raz Plus tab. This is where you can go if you want to change their reading level. But also, when I select a student, if I select reading room, if I edit the reading room and I go to customize it, this is where I can go in and decide what levels they can see. So I can drag these to say, all right, this student, I want them to only see K through O. And this actually, you can see this goes, there's a lot of granular details in this option. But, you know, you do have students that might be at a level H and they're reading at a level, let's say they're hopping into books at T. So if you really want to restrict students, I want this student to only see one level up and one level down, I can go ahead and do that. And that was again, I selected a student and I edited the reading room. So that is how you set up your roster in RazKids.